Hi Libra, Sun, Moon, Ascendant, or Venus. This is Dane, and I'm going to be doing your September 1st to the 15th, 2021 money and career reading for you. Now I ask if this reading resonates with you. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. If you're interested in any of the cards that I'm using, they will be listed and linked in the description box below. Now before we begin this reading, let us clear the energy space, raising our own energy vibration and releasing any negativity. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. Releasing all negativity from the body like storm clouds. Letting yourself feel calm, centered, and at peace as we enter into this safe and loving space. Let's let the bowls sing as we see what the tarot has to say. Libra, September 1st to the 15th, 2021, Libra, money and career. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides. Angels. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides. At the bottom is our rooted self. The left-hand side is our inner self. The middle, our heart, our emotional self. The right-hand side, the public arena, the public self. So let's see what the cards have to say. We have strength. So if we have Leo within our chart, that's going to be coming through very profoundly as a rooting, grounding power. Then we have the High Priestess. So the veil is being really lifted from our eyes, and we're seeing how we move forward in strength, but also in tenacity and purpose. There's going to be a sense here where we're not going to be lied to. Like, we're not going to take lies from anybody. We're not going to take, mess that people wear. We want the raw and honest truth. Sometimes that can be really, really, really intense. So we do have to be mindful of that sometimes people wear a mask because if they showed you who they really were, it would be overwhelming. So do be mindful of that. That's just a warning from Spirit right here. Okay, Libra? We have the High Priestess again. That makes sense. That's why it's so powerful coming forward as a rooting power, because it comes through again in the inner self. And then we have the Five of Swords reverse. There is something that's coming forward, and it's something that we've been through before that stops us. It just stops us, and we're going to have to see it honestly in order to move forward, because it's not going to be like, okay, I'm victorious, through this. It's going to be, oh my gosh, it's like a rabbit. It's like you just freeze. Like it's going to be kind of like that, and you're going to think, I should run, I should do something. It's not going to be something bad. It's just going to be something that like it triggers you. It's going to either put you back in that mind frame, or it's going to be something that's a little bit overwhelming, and Spirit is saying here isn't like I'm going to fight it with a sword. This is I'm going to connect spiritually to what's holding me back, to this truth that I need to see. And then that unlocks the door. It just really does unlock the door. It moves us then to, judgment. It moves us to rising out of darkness, which is awesome. And it brings us to the Seven of Pentacles, having patience with the prosperity that we are embracing. It brings us then to the Two of Swords. A pathway forward starts to open that we never thought we could walk. And it brings us then to the Eight of Swords. It's like this pathway opens up, and if we get out of our own way, if we get out of our own mind, because the Eight of Swords is being way too much in our own heads, it's saying if we get out of our own heads, we can achieve anything. People live their whole lives in the Eight of Swords, and it's so sad. So just be mindful of that. Just be mindful of that. And it's going to be because we're reaching this kind of turning point. We're reaching this turning point, and we just need to see openly and honestly. So let's look at the energy we need to be mindful of during this time. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading. And it's the Queen of Cups. Emotional manipulation. People who say, oh, please, I need your help because of XYZ. People who seem to be very spiritually aware, very much on this path of enlightenment and growth, but who really are just going to be vampires. They're just going to be sucking away the positive energy, sucking away the insight, because they need your positive vibration, your higher energy vibration, to better themselves, to move themselves forward. And you're going to find that you have more of a base vibration once they're done. Like once this person is gone, and they're just emotionally just so draining. So just be mindful of that. And you're going to think, oh, I'm doing a really good thing by helping this person out. And this person is going to take advantage just in a really big way. Let's look at our chakra energy for this time. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly, angels and spirit guides. So we have two right here, the heart chakra and the solar plexus chakra. So we have love and we have self-mastery. So through love, through the opening of our heart chakra, the embracing of our heart, it brings us a mastery of self. It brings us to a place where we follow our gut, where we follow our heart, where we move ourselves forward. And it leads us to this profound place of strength. This is a time where we start to see ourselves as strong, as independent, as individual. We start to see ourselves as opening up the door, moving forward, going after what we need, what we want, what we desire. So this is a time where we can get confused with what strength is. We can think that strength is force, and it's yelling, and it's demanding, and it's, bullying and manipulating, because that's what we see strength in the waking world. People who are really strong get what they want. People who are really successful get what they want through any means. I remember hearing the story of Steve Jobs, where he was having people make a smaller and smaller computer, and these people had been working on it forever. And what he did with the prototype was he threw it in a fish tank, and all the engineers just looked at him, because that was so many hours, so many days, so many weeks, months of work just thrown in a fish tank. And he said, there's bubbles, make it smaller. And that we see as strength, like that we see as like, oh wow, he's a badass. No, he got the point across, but he didn't do it with any respect for any of the people around him. And we think that's strength, but it's not. He could have had the same result in a different way. And what we're going to see here is that strength is understanding the feelings and compassion of those around us. Strength is the power of the heart and the soul to withstand and to still be kind, to still be respectful, to still be open, to still be honest. And it moves us here to the High Priestess. It moves us to the High Priestess where the veil is lifted from our eyes, where we start to see the world not in the way that it wants to be seen, the way that, kind of the media is projecting it to us. The commercials come our way, but we're seeing the world in an open and honest truth. We're seeing the world differently. We're breaking down lie after lie, and we're like, oh, okay. And we're going to be inspired in the oddest ways, and it's going to lead us forward to a financial success, to an opening up of a door, again, that we didn't think we could walk. And that's why we have to have this open mind. And the Eight of Swords comes up in the public arena, because it's like, if we don't have this open mind to say, well, why not give it a try? We will shoot ourselves in the foot. It will just be like, we close the door before we ever realize the success that could be on the other side. And it brings us to the Five of Swords. It brings us to this place where we have these doubts and these fears, and we're not going to know if we're ready to open up the door, to go after success and prosperity and bounty and abundance. We're not sure if we're there yet. And the fact of the matter is, we are. What we have to do is we have to see this wound openly and honestly. Because when this is in the upright position, we've won. You know, in medieval times, you didn't give a person back their sword. You just didn't. If a king was too nice, he was considered weak. You know, if he didn't kill everybody, he was considered weak. And you ruled through fear. You ruled through, force. And that was just considered normal. Our today world is very, very different. But here it's like, I took your weapon, I spared your life. Now, even in medieval times, that would be considered so merciful, to be ridiculous, to be, weak and somebody to go after. But here, what we have is we have the swords falling out. Like, we haven't won that battle yet. So what's going to happen is that we're going to be faced with things where we thought, oh, I had this all worked out. But we didn't. We just didn't. And this is going to be a time where we start to see our insecurities, we start to see ourselves more openly and more honestly. And this isn't a time where we have to rip ourselves apart. It's not saying, look at your insecurities and really dig in deep with everything that's at fault. No, it's saying, listen, that spirit will be talking. Listen, and spirit will be talking. Listen to the way that the heart is guiding. Listen to the way that the gut is telling you to move. And open up your eyes in a new way, in a powerful way, in a profound way. Open up your eyes, and you will see so much more than you ever thought you could see. The high priestess comes, and the high priestess creates where others just destroy. The high priestess understands when others just deny. The high priestess is when others could never be. And that's going to be a very powerful part of who we are during this time. The part of the intuitive, the part of the respectful, the part of the mysterious. And it brings us to a rising out of darkness, the darkness that we stand in even when we stand in the light of the day. The darkness of doubts and fears and being overwhelmed. Judgment comes, and in the Rider-Waite-Smith deck, this is people, represented by people raising out of their coffins, coming out of the box the world put them in. We are rising out of the box the world put us in, we put ourselves in. We're done. Now it is time. Now it is time to listen to the call, listen to the inspiration, listen to what we desire, and it brings us to the Seven of Pentacles, patience around prosperity. This is a time where we have the insight and the strength of character and the strength of will to succeed where we had failed before, to open up the door and to hear the call when before we hadn't. And the Seven of Pentacles comes and says, be patient with what you are building. Because if you are patient, and if you build slowly and carefully, it will last longer than something built in haste. Take your time, do it well, and let yourself see the transformation that is guided by this. Through this patience, we start to see with our success, with our bounty, with what we want within the world, with the money, we start to see new roads opening up to us. We start to see new pathways coming forward. We thought A or B. But why not the rest of the alphabet? Why not skip and hop to success? Different roads, different ways. Creating our own path, but following a path that needed to be walked. That embraces what we desire. That opens up the door. The Eight of Swords is do not overthink, overanalyze. Yes, think it through. Don't be foolish. Don't be too rash or too, hasty and just go off and think, oh, okay, it has to work out. We fall and we fail more often than we don't. I mean, when we're little, we fall a bazillion times before we can walk. And even when we're really skilled at walking, we will trip over our own feet as adults. So here, it's like, be kind to yourself. Mistakes will come. But do not lock yourself away by doubts and fears. And do not lock yourself away with other people's doubts and fears. Don't let them get into your mind and play their mind games. Open up the door. Open up the door to what you want. Open up the door to your inspiration. Open up the door to your desires. And see what comes. Don't live blindly by the words of others. The Buddha said, question everyone, even me. question, seek. That's what the High Priestess does. See what you find. There's such tremendous power out here for you, Libra. Take it. Our subconscious energy to be mindful of is justice, ourselves. We're represented by justice in the major arcana. We have to be mindful of getting in our own way, of trying to be so just to everybody else that the one person we screw over royally is ourselves, because we forget that we matter. It brings us then to our subconscious chakra message, which is soul healing. This is a soul star chakra located 6 inches above our crown. This is the time that we heal. This is the time that we step into our light. We step into our inspiration. We find ourselves aligned. It moves us to our subconscious rooted message. And that is the star. It's our wishes. It's our joys. It's our inspirations. This is Aquarius energy. It is a sense of balance coming forward. It's a sense of deepest dreams being seen. It's the idea that the night inspires. We have stars and the moon. The night inspires us more than we realize. Let ourselves be guided by the stars like our ancestors, who are guided by stars and sparrows. Well, stars and birds. And see where the road takes us. See where the inspiration takes us. It brings us to our subconscious inner self. And that's the 7 of Swords. Everything that we've gathered, it falls away. We don't need to carry the weight of it anymore. The weight of past ideas and past, joys and failures and everything in between. Past treacheries. Now we walk forward, saying, there's no more sneakiness here. There's no more lies and deceits. I walk forward with my eyes wide open. I walk forward towards me. It brings us to our subconscious inner self, not emotional self. And that is the Page of Pentacles. We become students of our prosperity and our success. During this time, our hearts guide us to financial prosperity. Our hearts guide us to a place where we can open up our eyes, open up the door, say, there is more here than meets the eye. And be led on a path that we might not have carved out for ourselves, given the opportunity, but because we are following dreams and stars and wishes and desires, and Spirit is seeing our wants, seeing what we need within our souls, not just what we want in the moment. There's so much that comes to us, so much that guides us that we could never have realized. The Page of Pentacles is saying, be a student of your prosperity and your success. Be a student of where you need to be, of what wealth means to you. And it brings us then to our subconscious public self, and that's the Fool. The Fool is saying, take that leap of faith. Go after it. Go after it. Whatever the it may be. Take the dream and start to make it the reality. The Fool is anybody who tries or who dares to be different. The Fool is the hero's journey. Because when we're on the hero's journey, the first step to being a hero is to understand that people will laugh, people will mock, people will not understand. But if we stay true to who we are, if we embrace the High Priestess, seeing ourselves openly and honestly, and understanding that nobody else has this game figured out, this game of life, and being able to embrace our path, our desire, our wants and our wishes, it leads us to a place that we never dreamed we could be. But we need to be brave enough to be laughed at, brave enough to not be understood. Nobody likes it. I remember when I started doing the tarot, and I said to my mom, I just don't want to be laughed at. People don't take this seriously. It's like some people do, some people don't. Some people mock, some people understand. And my mom just looked at me and she said, Dane, who wants to be laughed at? And I thought, fair. Here, who wants to be laughed at? But will you let somebody else's mocking take away a dream? Take away a path that is right for your heart and your soul, Libra. All right, Libra. I hope this reading has resonated with you. I wish you nothing but light, love, peace, and happiness. May harmony always be with you. I'm sending loving, healing energy to each and every one of you. I love you all, and stay safe. Let's end this reading with a meditation, a clearing away of negative energy, a raising of our positive energy as we embrace the power, the beauty, and the wisdom that is within us. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. May you move forward in peace and in harmony, Libra.